Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Before we begin, let me introduce some members of town government that act as advisors to this board. To my left is Martin Simon, attorney in the town attorney's office. To his left is Matt Collado, senior planner in the planning department. To his left is Jeff Canningeiser, planner in the planning department. To his left is Sabrina Butita, who's an environmental analyst with the Department of Environment and Waterways. You're here this evening seeking relief from the town of Smithtown zoning ordinance. New York State statute requires that any town that adopts zoning must also have a board of appeals to act as a relief valve, so that persons who can seek relief without the expense of legal proceedings. The most common kinds of applications before this board are area variances. Area variances deal with dimensions of lot area, frontage, height, setbacks, and parking reductions. New York State statute mandates that the board must consider the following 5 criteria when evaluating area variances. When you come to the podium to present your application, please do your best to address these 5 criteria. You don't have to remember them. There should be a sheet up there that actually tells you what they are. Number 1, whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created. Number 2, whether the applicant has other feasible alternatives. Number 3, whether the variance is substantial. Number 4, whether an adverse impact on the environment will be created. And number 5, whether the alleged difficulty is self-created. This board also has the authority to grant special exceptions, also known as special use permits or conditional use permit. This is a use that is permitted by zoning, but under specific conditions designed to ensure compatibility with the surrounding area and overall zoning plan. If all of the general and specific requirements are met, this board must approve the application. If they are not, this board must deny the application unless they request variances. At that point, the 5 criteria and balancing test will be applied. What is the balancing test? The statute requires that the board balance the interest of the applicant and those of the neighborhood or community. The board shall grant the minimum variance it deems necessary and adequate, while at the same time preserving and protecting the character of the neighborhood and the health, safety, and welfare of the community. The board has the power to impose reasonable conditions that relate to the variances. Regarding procedures, cases will be called in the order that they were advertised. When your case is called, please come forward, submit your affidavits of mailing receipts to Mr. Collado, and then the applicant will be given the opportunity to explain to the board why the variance is needed. Again, please address the 5 considerations. After the applicant is done speaking, all interested parties will be given one opportunity and only one opportunity to be heard. Please organize your thoughts and keep your remarks factual related to the case as well as the variances being sought. Then we will ask the applicant to come back to the podium to address your concerns. The board will then close the case and reserve decision. After all hearings are closed, the board will review cases and decide some of them, and others will be reviewed at a later date. There are 3 ways to find out about your case. The first is you can wait until after the public hearing, but there's no guarantee that the board is going to act on your case this evening. The second way is to check the website after 11 a.m. tomorrow. The third way is applicants can wait and be notified by mail. After the case is closed, no additional information or testimony can be submitted. I believe we have one adjournment this evening. It was case 19375, Red Oak Estates. Was anyone here to see that application? That is going to be adjourned to a date that is to be determined, as they have some other processes they have to go through. So if you're interested in that case, just watch the property. It'll be posted again for the next hearing. And I believe that's it. We can get started.
Good evening, everyone. The first case on for tonight is case 19395, Robert Bacigalupo, location 17 Concord Drive in Fort Salonga, the west side of Concord Drive, 466 feet north of Hastings Drive in Fort Salonga. The property is zoned R43. The request is a variance to reduce the minimum side yard setback from 24 feet to 16 feet for a proposed 528 square foot attached garage.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
You have everything?
We're Good? Yes, we're good.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, no problem. My name is Robert Bacigalupo. This is my wife, Cara Bacigalupo. We are the current residents at 17 Concord Drive in Fort Salonga. We've been living there since 2022. My wife, Cara, has been in the neighborhood of Fort Salonga her entire life. Tonight, we are proposing to add a one-story attached garage to our home and asking for relief for the attached garage addition of around or less than 8 feet. The new garage will line up on the existing garage and remain over 50 feet from our neighbor's home. We will be converting our existing attached garage into living space for our growing family. We have designed this project to be aesthetically pleasing and to blend in with the character of our neighborhood. And in speaking with our neighbors, we did get support from a majority of our neighbors locally. We do have 10 who signed affidavits supporting our project, either as a signed affidavit or a document supporting our project. I would like to submit these to the board too, if I can, for review. Whoever wants it. Over here. Of note, with the affidavits, we do have our next door neighbor at 15 Concord, as well as both across the street neighbors at 18 and 20 Concord Drive with the signed affidavits. Unfortunately, our neighbor directly at 19 Concord Drive recently passed away. The home is currently unoccupied, so we were unable to get an affidavit from him. As far as answering these considerations that I've not done so already, there is no undesirable change that would be produced. We did explore other options as far as consideration number 2, as far as feasibility, but do believe that this is the most feasible plan for our project. The request for variance for the attached garage, I guess, is subjective if it's substantial or not, but I don't believe it really is. Whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect on physical or environmental considerations, I don't believe they would. And this was, I guess we have to be honest and say it was self-created, and it's our plan to do this home remodel, but I don't think it would be detrimental. Thank you all for your time tonight.
Thank you. Did you want these letters back, or do you want me to make
I
them
have
part of the
copies
record?
of them. Nope, I can please make them part of the record, yes.
Okay, sounds good. Anyone on the board have any questions?
No, thank you.
No.
Planning?
No, thanks.
Sabrina?
No, thanks.
All right, would anyone in the audience like to be heard on this application? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Just want to see those. All right, case closed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good night, everybody.
You too.
The next case is case 19396, Joseph Persico, location 223 Cambon Avenue in St. James, east side of Cambon Avenue, 631 feet south of Woodlawn Avenue. The property is zoned R21. The request of variance to reduce the minimum side yard setback from 16 feet to 10 feet, reduce total side yard setback from 34 feet to 27 feet for a proposed 749 square foot detached garage. And we have the affidavits.
Good evening.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. My name is Joseph Persico. I'm the current homeowner of 213 Cambon Avenue, located in St. James. I'm joined here by my wife, Stephanie. We purchased the home originally in 2021. The approximate square footage of the home is 1,100 square feet. It does not include a garage space and has minimal space for storage. I am currently proposing a detached garage to be installed on the property, set back behind the house, approximately 178 feet from the curb line. The approximate dimensions of the detached garage are 18 feet by 40 feet for a total of 749 square feet. The approximate height of the proposed garage would be 13.5 feet, which matches the contextual uniform of the existing property of the home. This would not have an adverse effect on the neighborhood or the character of the neighborhood. It would not have an adverse effect on the environment. Sorry, let me just refer to your 5 points here. In terms of whether this was self-created, I would say no, because this is the way that we purchased the home. Whether we requested the area variance as substantial, we were requesting a 6-foot relief off of the 16-foot minimum requirement, and we're proposing that the detached garage be installed 10 feet off of the property line. As I said, this will not have an impact on the physical characteristics of the neighborhood or the environment. I'm sorry, this is my first time doing
It's
this. I'm
okay.
not
Don't
sure
worry
what to
about it.
expect here, but
Take your time.
is there any points that I feel like?
No, you did
no?
fine.
Yeah.
One of the things I noticed is you have a very unique lot, which makes it very difficult to find a spot to put the
Yes,
the garage.
thank you for bringing that up. The width of the property is 83 feet wide, so if I were to follow the 16-foot offset and then add the proposed width of the detached garage, it would essentially put the garage within the center of my property, which contextually, spatially, it just wouldn't really make sense. Also, to extend the driveway and then taper it towards the center of the property, again, contextually, it just wouldn't make sense. What I'm proposing with the 10-foot offset would allow me to run the driveway straight to continue a clear path, and contextually, it would look a lot nicer.
Thank you. Anyone on the board have any questions?
No, thank you.
Planning.
No comments.
Sabrina? Would anyone in the audience like to be heard on this application? Being none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Case closed. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next case is case 19397, June Smith, location 25 Daisy Drive in Kings Park. The north side of Daisy Drive, 138 feet west of Pine Road. The property is zoned R10. The request is a variance to reduce the minimum distance from any lot line in the rear yard from 6 feet to 0 feet for an existing 175 square foot shed addition to detached garage. Reduce minimum distance from any lot line in the rear yard from 6 feet to 5 feet for an existing 203 square foot pavilion. Reduce minimum distance from any lot line in the rear yard from 6 feet to 3 feet for an existing hot tub. Reduce minimum distance from any lot line in the rear yard from 6 feet to 4 feet for an existing outdoor fireplace. Increase the max permitted paved surface in the rear yard from 25 to 65% for existing patio pavers and asphalt driveway.
Good evening.
Hi, I'm Tammy Mayorino. I'm acting as power of attorney for my mom, June Smith, who's lived there since 1995. These structures were put up around that same time. Sure, Mayorino. You may have me under Triboulet as well. I use both names. Oh, Tammy Mayorino. Mayorino. You're welcome. These structures have been up for a very long time. They do not, whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood, no. You can't see any of the structures or the pavers from the road or the front yard. They're not a detriment to nearby properties. There's no one behind her, and it's within the property line. Whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than an area variance. What does that mean?
I'm sorry, which one?
The second one?
The character of neighborhood?
No, whether the benefits sought by the applicant.
Alternatives, whether they could create what they're asking for without seeking a variance. If they have other alternatives, if the property's big enough, if there are other places that things could be located.
It's existing. I don't think there's other alternatives because it's on the property.
Okay.
Whether the requested area variance is substantial, yes. Whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions, no impact on the physical or environmental conditions. They pose no safety to the neighborhood or district. Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, yes. They did this back in the 90s, and, you know, eventually we would like to sell this house and do everything the right way.
Okay, anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Anyone on the board have any questions?
No, thank you.
No? John? I believe we did receive a letter from someone. We'll make part of the record.
Yes.
Anything from planning?
No, I did read that letter. I don't have it in front of me, but I think they were under the impression that they lived behind the subject property. I don't believe they do. I think they live behind a house on the opposite side of the street. So, just something to note.
Okay, thank you. Sabrina? Would anyone in the audience like to be heard on this? Come on up. He's going to take the podium if you want to just sit for
Sure.
a minute, and then you can come back when he's done.
I'm the gentleman who wrote the letter.
Okay, we need your name and address first.
My name is Brian Gurlidis, Gurlides, and my address is 19 Woodland Drive, Kings Park, New York. And yes, I was mistaken when I first wrote this letter, thinking that it had something to do. But my concerns are that what I need the board to realize around this neighborhood and in the area of Kings Park that we live is the topography of the landscape there. We all live on these giant hills with these big slopes, and everything that happens up on the top of the slopes affects us people down below. So every time, even though I'm not directly related to this case, every time somebody gets to move back on a property line, there's somebody below kind of paying a price for that, okay? And that can open the door to these hills, the slopes that we live on. We are protected with little retaining walls on the bottom. Everything's kind of held back there. And disruption of the land at the top of these slopes causes problems to the people below. So I would like everybody to remember that and consider that when they're considering on approving variances in and around our properties. And of course, the way I sound, I also worry about the precedence of approving variances in and around our neighborhood. And I'm not sure I understand the rules, or if granting one property okay to do this, does it make it easier for somebody else to do it and the next person to do it? And before you know it, we're getting property lines encroached upon, which are really kind of dangerous to us below, living there, when you're talking about installing or existing things up there that have plumbing and electricity and everything else. So I would just like that to be a consideration. Everything seems to run downhill, you know, and when you're on top, it's okay, but when you're on the bottom or you're in the backyard of one of these places where they're coming up on the property line and getting closer and closer to the edge of that hill, it's creating harrowing experiences down below for all of us. Not to mention privacy concerns and things of that nature. So I would like all those things to be considered by this board when they're looking to approve these variances and these encroachments that come to our property line. That we wouldn't be sitting below these things just saying, okay, let's do it, it's okay. So please take those into consideration for our benefits and for the benefit of our whole community. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to be heard? You want to come back up and just address his concerns, please?
I don't know what the concern was, because we're not asking for more property. It's just,
His concerns were anything that you're doing that may affect people downslope.
no. Like I said, these are existing structures, they're existing pavers. We're not building anything new. It's not new construction. Are there photos of, do you have photos? I don't know, I'll be honest, I don't know how to address that, because there's nothing that would affect the downslope of the property.
Okay. All right, anything else you want to add? Okay, thank you. I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, case closed. Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
You have the site plan there, and I don't have, we could get the pictures.
Yeah, I just didn't see a survey. Did you want to see? Want to see if we have one?
The next case is case 19398, Shanghao Jin. Location is 8 Richmond Place in Comac, east side of Richmond Place, 310 feet south of Delaware Avenue. The property is zoned R10. The request is a variance to increase the max permitted paved surface in the front yard from 25% to 34% for begun prior front yard over paving and curb cut. Reduce the minimum setback of a 2-foot retaining wall from the property line from 3 feet to 0 feet for a begun prior retaining wall along the northern side of the driveway. Max height 2 feet, and to increase the permitted width of a driveway at the curb cut from 20 feet to 22 feet. Reduce the minimum setback of paving from the property line from 1 foot to 0 feet. Yes, we're good. We have the affidavits.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Shanghao Jin, and my address is 8 Richmond Place, Comac. My wife is at home taking care of my 6-year daughter, but today I bring my son here, and he can help me for English translator because my English is not really perfect. I am here today because I want to renovate my driveway. I purchased this house at 2023. It was originally 9 feet wide driveway, but me and my wife each own one car, and my wife is planning buy the third car for her business. So we want a wider driveway that can fit all 3 vehicles. When we start the construction, an inspector came to my house, said my neighbor complained that I built a retaining wall is too close his property. But I want to explain that it's not retaining wall because on his side it looks like wall, but you saw my house is a little higher than the street, so it's just a hill. That looks like wall. I won't call this curb because it has hold my driveway. And he also say my paving is more than 25% of my front yard. And the entrance is more than 20 feet. Now it's 22 feet. So before start the job, I asked a lot of my neighbors, and they also had this side driveway, and they say it's okay, you don't have to permit, because they did that without permit. So I just started it, but I don't know, has some illegal case here, but I come in here for my paving is from 25% to 33%, and the entrance just a little bigger than 20 feet, 22 feet. That's it.
Anyone on the board have any questions?
Thank you.
Planning?
Being that you haven't paved yet, is there any way you could move it back? Because you're at a 0-foot setback, is there any way you could push it back to a foot or 2 feet off the property line?
You mean-
Yeah.
I can, but it just cost money.
Right.
One
Just
of the things
something to
that-
consider.
One of the things that we worry about is that when you go to a 0 setback on a line, it puts all the impact on your neighbor, so that if there's runoff or anything, there's nowhere on your yard for that to recharge, for the water to stay. So we try to be careful about going to 0, because then it makes it your neighbor's problem. Just to consider, I don't know how the board's gonna vote, but that's just one of the things that we always try to look at.
Yeah, okay. I'll do everything you said. Yes, same.
Thank you. Sabrina?
Thank you.
Would anyone in the audience like to be heard on this application?
Hello there. My name is Dean Lochner. I live at 6 Richmond Place, which is the neighbor.
Could you just spell your last name?
Lochner?
Spell it, please.
Lauchner.
Thank you.
6 Richmond Place, Comac, the next door neighbor. I understand why he lifted the driveway up so they could have runoff for the rainwater. So I kind of get that aspect of it. But the problem is aesthetically, it looks like it's a wall that I'm facing on my property. The cement that he used to retain the wall is on my property in order to accommodate the structure, because he's got 0 going down. So in other words, he's got a 45 angle of concrete coming up to the wall. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think it really comes in with the decor of the rest, say, you know what I mean? It's just not there. So what's going to happen to me if this doesn't move, which is, even if he moves it back another foot or so, I'm still going to have to spend thousands of dollars to disguise that wall being there. So it's going to, I'll have an expense incurred on this for sure. Other than that, I think, you know, it's going to be a wide driveway for his business.
Thank you. You want to come back up and just address his concerns?
Okay, this is, you say this wall, but I wanna say it again, it's just for hold my driveway. Because if I don't have that stone to hold, my driveway not gonna be strong. And, now we're doing this job. I didn't finish yet. My contractor promised me finish this work, some of cement, going his property. He gonna fix it and put dirt and seeding and put the grass again. But I think before the work, I didn't explain everything. But I trying to talk to him. And first, when I didn't, before I put that stone, he said, well, I try and talk to him. I will paving my driveway to this line. Is that okay? And he confirmed. But I put one, if I move the 1 feet, I also need that stone to hold my driveway. That's what I do. And anything else, I will fix it. Probably will correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it. We need a motion to close.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Have a good night.
The next case is case 19400, Stephen and Natty Bonacera. Location is 63 Pond Road in Smithtown, south side of 3 Pond Road, 440 feet east of Thatch Pond Road. The property is zoned R43. The request is a variance to reduce the minimum side yard setback from 24 feet to 12 feet for a proposed 720 square foot detached garage. Reduce total side yard setback from 60 feet to 55 feet for a proposed 697 square foot pavilion, proposed 18 square foot outdoor fireplace, and proposed 720 square foot detached garage. Increase the max height from 15 feet to 18 feet for proposed 720 square foot detached garage. Increase the max permitted paved surface in the side yard from 25% to 87% for proposed side yard over paving, and increase the gross floor area of the lot in the LWRP from 5,178 square feet to 5,375 square feet.
Good evening.
Good evening, how are you? Again, Steve Bonacera, my wife Anati. We live at 63 Pond Road in Smithtown for about 10 years now. And we're pursuing these variances as it relates to a detached two-car garage and the addition of a pavilion in our rear yard. The detached garage is about 106 feet off of the north property line. And our house is such that, or driveway is such that our entry to the garage is on the side of the house. So the variances that are being requested are as a result of the access of to our property being along that west property line. We have, 3 children that have come to age of driving. We have 5 cars in our driveway, so it's getting a little difficult to navigate with all the cars in the driveway. So the two-car garage obviously will take relief off of that by providing them a location for 2 of the cars. The pavilion is in a rear yard, in a location to avoid, disturbance of existing landscaping and trees. And with the pavilion and the garage being on the sides of the home, it obviously puts pressure on our setbacks. Aside from that, you guys have our affidavits. To go down your 5 questions here, whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties. We don't believe so. There is precedence in our neighborhood for the height and style of the detached garage that has been approved by your board. Whether the benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method. Again, given the location of our driveway and the location of the proposed garage, it is at the end of the entry or the approach to our house, so that's kind of dictating the location. Whether the request of variance is substantial, we don't believe so. Whether the proposed variance will have an adverse impact on physical and environmental conditions in the neighborhood, again, we don't believe so. Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, yes, I would imagine it would be.
Thank you. Anyone on the board have any questions on this application?
No, thank you.
No? Planning?
This is, you guys did file an LWRP application. It's going before the town board this Thursday. I do believe there will be a condition on there about planting a row of evergreen trees along the garage to screen the garage, and that may change the design of the pavement along the side of the garage. I understand that there's plantings there now, but I don't believe that they're on your property. So in order to, meet the goals of the LWRP, that's most likely going to be a condition on there, so.
Thank you. Sabrina?
Yes, and we will need that LWRP before we can complete our environmental review. The property is also within the New York State DEC corridor, and we recommend the applicant contact DEC to obtain all permits if they haven't already done so. Therefore, no decision will be made until that information is complete.
I believe is this the case where, at our meeting, that there was a fence encroachment?
Yes.
Did you notice there's a fence, I guess, on the west
Yeah.
property line that is an encroachment? Typically, this board will make decisions based with, with the condition that any encroachments be brought back into compliance, so that we don't run into problems down the road.
Okay, the fence is currently has plantings on one side, and those plantings would have to be obviously removed and relocated to.
Yeah, I don't believe that the board has a concern. I mean, if it's a boundary line agreement with your neighbor, or it's brought back into compliance.
Yeah, I'd have to talk to
As
my
long
neighbor,
as
yeah.
something happens, it's on the record that you're acknowledging that there's an encroachment.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All right, anyone in the, and we don't have a secret, so as soon as we get the LWRP, then we can make a decision on that.
What's involved with the LWRP?
So that's, I believe you made an application already, right?
Yeah, so it's the town, you're within the town's local waterfront revitalization program. So whenever, there's certain criteria when you have to apply for, submit an application. In this case, it's for a building for a variance. So they want to make sure that your proposal aligns with the goals of the policies, usually related to architecture, stormwater runoff, screening, any of the impacts, those type of things.
Got it.
Whenever you're within close proximity to a waterway.
Yeah,
in the
you're
town.
within the Nisquag River. You're close to that.
We're making our submission to the DEC tomorrow morning, actually. We're hopefully going to get a letter of no jurisdiction. Who
Yeah,
knows?
that's two
So that's a
different.
separate, yeah, so
But-
you are in the wild and scenic recreational river corridor.
Right,
so
right,
yeah,
right.
You would have reaching out to them, whether it's a non-jurisdiction or a permit, yeah, it's up to them.
So I think we're 1,500 feet from the river, that puts us in the LWRP.
Yes.
But you don't have to
Submitted,
do
yeah.
anything additional. I
Yeah,
believe
they've
it's
submitted
already in
it.
front of the board that it needs to be in front of.
Yes.
I just know the implications of that. Got it.
Okay. Anyone in the audience like to be heard on this application? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved?
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, case closed. Thank you very much. There's a lot of stuff, Bill.
The next case is case 19401, Guide Dog Foundation for the Blind. The location is 371 Middle Country Road in Smithtown, located on the northwest corner of East Jericho Turnpike and 50 Acre Road South. The property is split zoned WSI and R10. The request is a variance to reduce the minimum front yard setback on 50 Acre Road South from 50 feet to 27 feet for a proposed 2,814 square foot roof overhang.
Good
Good afternoon, board members. Alex Badalamenti, B-A-D-A-L-A-M-E-N-T-I, BLD Architects, Patchogue, New York. We are the local architects on behalf of Myers Studio in California, working with the Guide Dog Foundation.
Do we need a power of attorney, or because it's the Guide Dog Foundation?
Yeah, and the document was submitted to the board to speak on their behalf. I think this is more of a clarification. This is all part of the original variance that was granted for the 40-foot front yard setback. There is an overhang, roof overhang, on the east side of the building that projects within the 27 feet. So we're looking for the relaxation. The building department picked it up as a clarification for the relaxation of the overhang, and there's a slight colonnade on that side. Other than that, it's the same renderings, same drawings, same application that was submitted back in March and approved for the original variance. So just clarification on the roof. To answer your variance questions, whether it's undesirable, we would say no, it's an aesthetic benefit to the building. Whether it benefits off of the can be achieved by some method, I would say no, it's part of the original concept and would be difficult to change it at this time. Whether area variance is substantial, we would say no, it's de minimis. Whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect, no, again, we think it's an enhancement. Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, yes, it is self-imposed since it is part of the original design, but I think it's been on the table for quite some time. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
I'll find out. Anyone on the board? No. Matt?
No, thank you.
Sabrina?
No, thank you.
Would anyone in the audience like to be heard on this application? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, case closed. Thank you.
The next case is case 19402, Kurt and Eileen Engelhart. Location is 24 Park Street in Kings Park, west side of Park Street, 270 feet north of Pulaski Road. The property is zoned R10. The request is a variance to reduce the minimum rear yard setback from 50 feet to 41 feet for a proposed 158 square foot, one-story rear addition. Reduce the minimum rear yard setback from 50 feet to 37 feet for existing 177 square foot rear roof over. Increase the max permitted paved surface in the side yard from 25% to 38% for existing asphalt driveway.
Good evening. My name is Carlos Munoz, M-U-N-O-Z, from Todd O'Connell Architects, 1200 Veterans Memorial Highway. We are Todd O'Connell?
He has a PO in it. You're fine.
Okay. So we're proposing a one-story addition to expand a master bedroom. The proposed addition would just make the bedroom slightly bigger and accommodate a bathroom. That proposed addition will require a rear yard setback, which the whole addition is only about 177 square feet. The other two items in question, one is the sunroom that has a setback of 37 feet. We convinced the homeowner to remove the walls and just keep it as a covered porch. We thought it would be less encroaching into the side yards as opposed to the actual physical room. So we're converting the sunroom into just a covered porch. Again, that square footage was all existing when they bought it. Same as the asphalt issue with the side yard. It's just a little parking space next to the existing garage, but causing the increase in square footage. I don't think that the variance that we're requesting is substantial, as half of it is existing and the addition proposed, it's very minimal. It shouldn't cause any environmental issues or disrupt the neighborhood, as the whole variance is actually in the rear yard of the property and nobody will actually see it, and half of it is existing. There was no other way to do, I mean, the two of the variances were existing, but the proposed addition, there was no other way to expand the master bedroom without having to reconfigure the whole house. So economically, it wouldn't just make sense to expand anywhere else, either up or to the other side, because it also would require a variance. So anything we did to the house would cause a variance.
Okay. Anyone on the board have any questions on this application? No? Planning?
No, thank you.
Sabrina?
No, thank you.
Anyone in the audience like to be heard on this application? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, case closed. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next case is case 19403, Jake DeLeo. Location is 224 Riviera Drive in Kings Park, south side of Riviera Drive, 113 feet west of Walnut Road. The property is owned R10. The request is a variance to reduce the minimum front yard setback from 25 feet to 13 feet for an existing 297 square foot side deck and existing 96 square foot open porch enclosed. Reduce minimum front yard setback from 25 feet to 13 feet for proposed 342 square foot second floor dormer addition and proposed 160 square foot front second floor balcony. Reduce minimum side yard setback from 12 feet to 1 for an existing 297 square foot side deck and 173 square foot rear side addition. Reduce minimum side yard setback from 12 feet to 10 for a proposed 492 square foot detached garage. Reduce total side yard setback from 28 feet to 11 feet. Increase max height of an accessory structure from 15 to 19 feet for a proposed 492 square foot detached garage. Permit environmentally sensitive lands to be altered where depth to water is equal to or less than 10 feet. Increase the gross floor area of the lot in the LWRP from 2,055 square feet to 2,519 square feet.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Jake DeLeo. My address is 224 Riviera Drive, and my architect is going to be speaking on my behalf. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, my name is Michael Morbillo, Morbillo of Inspire Design Group Architects. Office is located at 4964 Express Drive South, Ronkonkoma, New York. So there's several requests on the application. I'd just like to run through them. The majority of them have to do with the fact that it's an existing non-conforming structure. So I'm just going to kind of run through those briefly. The first request was for front yard setbacks from 25 to 13 feet. Presently, that's the setback of the front of the house from the street. So we're not encroaching any further. There are some existing decks that presently there's a stair in front of the house that we're looking to remove, actually looking to reduce some of the encroachment. Presently, that the house has a below-grade garage entrance, so it enters into the basement of the house. And we're looking to fill that area in. You can see it in the picture. There's that area we're actually looking to remove that garage door because there's a dip from the street level, so water does come in from street level into that garage. So we're actually looking to remove that garage door entrance and carry the existing grade into that area. And there's an existing wood stair that's accessed off of that driveway, which we're looking to remove also. Because we're looking to place, presently, the entrance to the home looking from the street is on the left side of the house, and we're proposing to put it on the right side of the house, which is the side where we're proposing the detached garage and new driveway. So we're looking to remove a driveway, remove some front steps that are there, some wood steps. We're not looking to get any closer. One of the other requests that we have is also front yard is presently, if you look at the picture of the front of the house, there's an area where there's almost a little bit of a flat roof. We're looking to propose like a second floor terrace. So part of this application, not increasing the footprint of the house, is we are looking to lift up the roof line on the house. Like there's a single bedroom up there, and we'd like to maintain that, but there's low slopes in there, and we're looking to add some headroom. So part of that, probably the front elevation will come up, and yeah, we could see it there. Part of what we're looking to do is basically create more full height space. We're still incorporating some knee walls on the second floor, but also have like a little bit of a walkout terrace there on the river. We'd like to be able to capture some views of the river, considering we're on Riviera Drive. So that's part of that application. Again, that front terrace is not getting any closer. It's just basically a flat roof over existing living space. And so that's part of the request also. The other item, one of the items is for the side yard request to reduce minimum side yard from 12 feet to 1 foot. Presently, there's a wood deck that's on the south side of the house. That was the entry deck into the house where the previous front, I'll say, entry door for the residence was. You can see it there in the top photo. There's some railings there. That was where the the main entrance into the house was. And there's an existing wood deck there. We're basically looking to keep the deck. It's kind of straddles, it's very close to the property line. It goes from 1.8 feet to about 3.2 feet. So we're looking to maintain it, although there'll no longer be access from the street. It'll be strictly from the house. So that's part of the request. Again, it's a wood deck that's been there for decades. We're looking to maintain that. Along with that, since that wood deck is 1.8 feet, which rounds to 1 foot, we're proposing a detached garage on the north side of the property. So that's the new structure that we have some requests for. We're looking to keep it, we don't want to follow our standard accessory structure setbacks for side yards, partly because it's already a little bit, I'll say it's due to the size, we're asking for a little bit of added height. The property is hilly, meaning that the front of the property is about 7 or 8 feet lower at the front than it is at the back property line. So due to the fact that we have a detached structure, we can't really place it in the rear yard because there's such a substantial grade change from the front yard to the rear yard that a driveway would basically be impossible to traverse and maintain an adequate slope to get up into it. What we are proposing, though, is to actually, the drawings illustrate here, the back of the garage is going to be 14 feet 8 inches high. The front of the garage, due to grade slope, is going to be at our request of 19 feet. I apologize. We have an increased height in the front due to the grade of the property. My client also has a nice truck. He wants to be able to pull it in there, so we're asking for a little added height. He does some work on his truck, so he wants a little bit of added height to the garage. But basically, from the back on the back side of the garage, which would be on the west side, we're in a conforming height, 14 feet 8 inches. The front is where we have the increased height due to the slope. And again, the slope actually continues up behind the garage, I would say, to the property line about another 3 feet. So the impact of the garage is probably pretty limited to the neighbors because mostly it's kind of bermed into the hill. But we have a greater exposure on the front of the garage, which is what we're seeking a height variance for, from the 15 feet to 19, which is actually 18 feet 6 inches. As I mentioned, due to the grade change, it's not very feasible to put this garage into the rear yard in a conforming location. So the property accommodates in the side yard. It would be difficult to create this. We feel that this is a much safer access for a garage, considering the current garage is below grade, has water issues. We're trying to kind of cure those things. My client purchased the house, started taking off siding, started replacing some windows, started doing a little bit of work. And was made aware you need permits for those things. So he filed a permit for that work. In the process of filing that permit, that's when he learned about the existing nonconformities of the deck and the house, and that he would have to go to the zoning board. So he figured, listen, we're going in front of the zoning board. At some point in the very near future, he'd like to do this garage. So we're including the garage in the application right now. So I think as far as environmentally sensitive lands, we did environmental did request a soil boring to determine the water table. Probably about a little more than a third of the way into the property. The water table is about 9 feet down. So basically, I would say about half of the property is in a high water area. If we sort of extrapolate with the slope of the property, the back of the property, we're probably close to 14 feet or so above groundwater. So we're not terribly close to groundwater throughout the whole site, but certainly a portion at the front of it is closer to groundwater. We have filed a DEC application. We have a LWRP application in, which I know needs to go in front of the town board. So we know a secret determination has not been made yet and that the board can't make a decision tonight. But I think I've covered most of the requirements. Certainly, we feel that I'll say for the criteria, we're not creating a substantial impact on the character of the neighborhood. We think we're actually improving it by kind of restoring the grade in front of the house. We feel that the garage is basically a low-impact sort of structure, being that it's actually sort of bermed in the back. Any runoff, anything else will be contained on-site. Storm pools, anything that needs to be put in, whether it's for the driveway so that there's no runoff onto Riviera Drive. There's really, as I mentioned, there's not any other place to kind of do this on the property. He has this larger side yard. We have the grade situation that is beyond their control. So in general, we don't feel the requests are substantial. And if the board has any questions at this time, I'd be happy to answer them.
The only question I had is within respect to the garage.
Yeah.
I see that it's 10 feet, but it is quite a distance away from the house.
Yeah.
Is it possible to move it that additional 2 feet so it would comply?
I think it can. What we were looking at was like just access to the yard. That's a little bit why we placed it 10 feet and then have a little bit of space for whether it's a breezeway, sort of like pass-through space. So being that the yard has this slope, he was hoping to have sort of like potential usable maybe patio space or something in the future. Could it come another couple of feet? It could, but I think because of the slope of the property and other things, that's kind of like a little bit of their outdoor space. So we're trying to maximize it. So that's the reason why we asked also for the 10 feet. So can it come closer? It could. If the board feels that that is a point of great concern, it can come the 2 feet closer. We are, just to point out, we do have the structure parallel and perpendicular to the main house for purposes like if we did an outdoor patio or something in the future. So we are 10 feet at the front and almost 12 feet at the back on the garage. But if the board, if that was a sticking point, then certainly we would, accept a lesser or greater setback.
Obviously, from
Yeah.
past experience that
Yeah.
when we grant relief in a side yard on a garage that's also over height, it's kind of one or the other.
Yeah.
It becomes
Yeah.
difficult for this board to say, we're going to push this structure closer to the neighbor, but then we're also going to impact them with additional height.
Yeah. Yeah.
Becomes a little bit difficult for us to kind of grapple with that.
So listen, I think we did discuss that possibility. I did discuss that with my client. So I think the height is what's more important, believe it or not, because of his truck and other things being able to pull in. So I think as far as priority goes, the height is what's essential, especially with the slope on the grade. So we would accept probably, a conforming setback of the 12 feet in place of that.
We'll discuss it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
I'm just one person.
Sure.
All right, anyone on the board have any questions?
Yeah, on the photo on the balcony, your service is coming in, is that going to be moved?
Yes, it is. Yeah. It'll be raised up to the roof line and adjusted, correct? No. Thank you.
Anyone else?
No.
Planning.
My comments were the same as yours about, the feasibility of shifting the house to meet the 12 feet. Or if you're going to remain at the proposal, lowering it, the height. So same comments.
Okay. Sabrina?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, as Michael has stated, there's no secret until the LWRP is completed, so no
So as soon
decision.
as we get that, we can act
Great.
on it. Anyone in the audience like to be heard? Sure, come on up. Just wait till you get to the mic so we can get it on the record.
I don't know if I can get this low enough. I'm barely 5 feet. Hello, everyone. My name is Iris Colan. I live directly next door to the side yard of the new neighbor.
Could you spell
Hi.
your last name, please?
Excuse me?
Just spell your last name for the
Oh,
record.
should I twist it?
No, just spell your last name for the, we can hear
Oh,
you.
Colan.
Thank you.
Okay. I wrote a I would say it's probably a 3-page letter. I don't know if you have
We
that.
have it, and we'll make it part of the record as well.
Have you read it?
Mhm.
Okay. My concern was, I didn't know what was going to be built on that side yard, because it's directly next to my property line. The only thing I have is my home, and then I have a 6-foot wide deck, and then my property line ends. And the new side yard, my new side yard, which I don't see the house now because it has not been maintained for many years. There were tenants living in there. They were renting the property, and I think the new homeowner knows how much he's got to clear out there. I have been cutting it every year, even the shrubs in the front of the house, because it was never maintained. And I did it because I moved in 20 years ago. I'm one of the oldies there, and I came down with muscular dystrophy and a myotonic dystrophy, so I wanted to live on the river. And I just plunked all my money down, and I bought the house so I could see the river. My concern, and the reason I'm here tonight, is I didn't know what privacy I was going to be losing by the new building being done next to me. And it seems, after being here tonight, that it is only the driveway that will be built on the side yard.
And the garage.
Is that correct?
The garage to the west, right? If you're looking at the house to the right?
If I'm, if you're standing in front of his house, okay, I'm almost directly to the north. Well, the front of our houses face northeast, okay? And so I'm going to sit on my deck, which is on the east side of the house, facing his side yard. And my little deck is only 6 feet wide. That's it. And then my property line ends. I was afraid that the house was going to be expanded and I was going to be sandwiched in there and help, okay? So I was very concerned, but after listening tonight, and I'm sorry if I took too much of your time, but I have a better understanding, and I think that it's going to be okay.
Well, you have a neighbor that's willing to make his property beautiful right next to you, so.
Yeah. So, okay, well,
Thank
thank you, everyone, for listening to me.
Mr. Morbillo, you want to just come back up, or you're good? Anyone else want to be heard on this case? All right, we'll entertain a motion to close.
So moved.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, case closed. Thank you.
The next case is case 19404, John Wire. 11, location is 11 Lafayette Avenue in Lake Grove. It's on the north side of Lafayette Avenue, 240 feet east of Browns Road. The property is zoned R10. The request is a variance to reduce the minimum front yard setback from 25 feet to 18 feet for a proposed 52 square foot first floor addition and proposed 40 square foot front porch. Increase max permitted gross floor area of the lot from 30% to 33% for a proposed 52 square foot first floor addition and proposed 2-story addition, front entry garage that's 922 square feet, and a second floor 922 square feet, and increase the square footage of an attached garage from 750 square feet to 922 square feet.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Carlos, last name M-U-N-O-Z, from Todd O'Connell Architects, 1200 Veterans Memorial Highway. The Wire family, they're proposing a 2-story addition to expand their small 766 square foot bungalow. Due to the conditions of the existing site, they have 8,800 square foot lot where 10,000 square feet is required. We're lining up the addition with the front, but the existing front yard is encroaching to the required front yard setback, so thus causing also our proposed addition to encroach. We're proposing an open 40 square foot portico that is also encroaching, thus creating the 18.33 foot setback. On the garage aspect, I know it says 922 square feet, but that was pretty much the whole addition. If you look at the floor plan for the garage, part of that 922 square feet is including the stairs to access the second floor, which is actually part of the outside of the garage envelope, if you want to call it. The actual square footage of the interior of the garage is only 800 square feet, which is only 50 square foot over the required. But when the denial was done, I guess they included the staircase to the second floor as part of the 922 square feet. As far as environmental, we already proposed a new sanitary system, which has been approved. We're proposing dry wells to convey any runoff water. Unfortunately, there's nothing the family can do to propose any other addition. They just had a new baby and they're very tight in space with the current conditions. But it would make the neighborhood better. Right now, it's a, I don't want to say rundown, but you know, the siding is falling apart. They're gonna finish the whole property nicely once they're done with the 2-story addition, and hopefully will make the neighborhood look a lot better.
Thank you. Anyone on the board have any questions?
No.
Thank you.
No? Planning?
No, thank you.
Sabrina?
No, thank you.
Would anyone in the audience like to be heard on this application? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Case closed. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next case is case 19405, Jaylene Cuevas. The location is First Avenue in Kings Park. It's on the west side of First Avenue, 164 feet south of Pulaski Road. The property is split zone CB and RM7. The request is a variance to reduce the minimum front yard setback from 10 feet to 7 feet in the CB zone, reduce minimum front yard setback from 25 feet to 7 feet in the RM7 zone, reduce minimum rear yard setback from 50 feet to 32 feet in the CB zone for proposed 537 square foot second floor addition.
Good evening. My name is Jaylene Cuevas, Cuevas. I am the owner of 16 First Avenue in Kings Park, and I'm going to let my father speak for me.
Good evening, Chairman of the Board and members of the Board. My name is Braulio Cuevas, and I would definitely spell both for you. It's Braulio Cuevas. I am Jaylene's father, and I'm going to speak for her because she gets very nervous. She recently bought the house. She's a single mother, and she was looking for an affordable house. So at the time that we purchased the house, I'm in construction, and I immediately said you can build the second floor in the house because that's all she could afford. But we were not aware that this house was already not compliant with setbacks. So when we spoke to the architect and he started looking into the property, he said, well, you're going to have a problem with the setbacks. You're going to have to file a variance. Well, that's why we're here, because she already bought the house, and now she has a daughter that she lives with, and like I said, she's a single mother. So the house is extremely small. So we're not, it's already a structure, uncompliant structure, I believe you call it, that's there. The only thing we want to do is so we're not going to change the footprint of the house. We're just going to build an additional second floor right on the house. The house has 2 really small bedrooms, and all we want to do is make 2 bedrooms upstairs, one for her and one for my granddaughter. We have some pictures. The house directly to the right of that already has 2 floors on it, and the house, 2 stores, 2 houses down already has a second floor in it. So it's not gonna cosmetically be a nuisance to the neighborhood because all the other houses around the area have a second floor. Whether the benefits sought by the applicant will be achieved by some other method. No, there's no other space or room in the house on the property to build. The only choice we have is to put a second floor in the house. Whether the variance is substantial. I don't believe it's substantial. The other houses in the neighborhood basically get the same footprint and they have second floors. I don't know if it was at the time they built the house or if they filed variance as well. Whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on physical environment and the conditions or the school district. No, I don't believe so. Like I said, the house is already there. The setbacks are already in the same place. All we're looking to do is put a second floor in the house. Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created. No, we didn't build a house, so we're just proposing to put a second floor in it. Do you have any other questions? I'm not really,
You're doing fine.
thank you.
No, it is very unique, obviously, having a house that's on split zone property in what I believe most people would consider the commercial district of downtown Kings Park makes it difficult enough. And then you put on that a substandard size lot, it makes it very difficult to comply with anything on that site. So certainly I can see the reason for some relief on this one. Anyone on the board have any questions?
No, thank you.
Planning?
No, thank you.
Sabrina?
No, thank you.
No? Would anyone in the audience like to be heard on this application? Sure, come on up.
I live in the house directly next to her. Jeremy Whiteman, 50 Pulaski Road. Wightman.
Thank you.
I've been at that property for about 6 years now. We re-renovated it. We had to go through variances like this to modernize it. The houses were built a very long time ago mine was the late 1800s. It was a historical hotel. For the last 6 years, the house next to us was kind of a little bit of a nightmare. It was sold right after we bought our house. The next person who bought it never paid the mortgage, and they had people living in it in very crowded and inhumane ways. It was very detrimental to us living next to it. It was detrimental to everyone around that neighborhood. Once they moved out, it was vacant for 3 years. No one maintained the property except for me and the other neighbor. We put a lot of time and effort into mowing the yard. The bank never cared about anything. So having a neighbor move into the house has been a real blessing to everyone who lives around there. The house is no longer vacant. There was tons of problems before. We don't have any of those problems anymore. She has beautified the house greatly. All the contractors that she has been very pleasant, very nice to us. He hit on a lot of really good points. The house was built in a different era. It's very small. When you go down the road on First Avenue, a lot of the houses have had the same additions that they're asking for. It's just that, their plots were a little different. So as speaking for her as her neighbor and as everyone else in the community, like you said, we have a neighbor who wants to make their property beautiful. None of us are against that. We are all for that. And I understand why it's necessary. The house needs to be modernized to make it livable for a modern, family. A lot of those houses were built as cottages. So her plans look beautiful. We have no problem with it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to be heard on this case? Would you guys like to come back and say anything else, or you don't have to? Need a motion to close?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Case closed. Thank you very much.
Case is case 1937, Matthew and Angeline Perry. Location is 27 Bethel Lane in Comac, north side of Bethel Lane, 4 feet west of Carmel Road. The property is owned R21. The request is a variance to reduce the minimum side yard setback from 16 feet to 0 for an existing 578 square foot pavilion with 108 square foot outdoor kitchen under, an existing 75 square foot shed, existing 27 square foot shed, and existing 28 square foot fire pit.
Good evening.
How you doing? Michael Arado, representing the homeowners. Last name is ARATO. So we're here today seeking relief for 4 accessory structures that don't meet the required 16-foot side yard setback. So there's a 26 square foot shed that has a 0.7 foot setback, 79 square foot shed that has a 10-foot setback, a pavilion that has a 5-foot setback, and an outdoor kitchen and wood-burning fireplace that both have an 11-foot setback. The 2 sheds in question are both under 150 square feet and normally would need a setback of roughly 2 feet, but due to the location, they're requiring a greater side yard setback. The owners were not aware of this and didn't realize that the shed that's 26 square feet even needed to have a setback due to its size. The heights of the sheds are 9 feet and 10 feet and are not visible due to the tall living fence that surrounds the property, and the roof pitches on both these sheds point in the opposite direction of the neighbors, so there won't be any threat of runoff or snow runoff. The pavilion, which is 14.6 feet in height, is set up with a gutter system that drains into the landscape and bed and is screened by evergreens, so the nearest neighbor, which is located at 29 Bethel Lane, does not have this structure in their line of sight, and none of the runoff goes onto their property. The kitchen barbecue is runoff of a portable propane tank, and the fire pit is wood burning. We were advised that our client did receive some support in this application. I believe you guys have some letters from 31 Bethel Lane, 26 Delmar Lane, 24 Bethel Lane, and most importantly, the 2 properties who would be most affected by these structures. And those houses are either on either side, which are 25 Bethel Lane and 29 Bethel Lane. While these structures were self-created, we don't feel that they impose a negative impact on the property, the surrounding properties, or the environment. We feel that this property can support these additional structures without any issue, and we hope that the board agrees as well. We don't feel that these structures are out of character to the neighborhood.
Thank you. I noticed one of the minimum side yard setback for existing 578 square foot pavilion from 5 to 0 or 16 to 0. Where is it 0? I don't see that.
The 0 is for the shed, so I think that's the
Just-
lowest setback, but it's actually 0.7.
Okay, so it's not the pavilion that's at 0.
No, the pavilion's at 5.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they just made it like a general statement.
For all of them?
Yeah, and they rounded down, they didn't round up, so they gave us 0.
Anyone have any questions? No? Planning?
No, thank you.
Sabrina?
No, thank you.
Anyone in the audience like to be heard on this application? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, have a good night.
Next case is case 19332, Jacob Levy and Carolyn Colella. The location is 11 Gemini Lane in Nesconset, north side of Gemini Lane, 205 east of Atlas Place. The property is zoned R15. The request is a special exception to permit temporary living quarters for parents. and I don't think there's any notaries here. And then the affidavit of posting, I believe we do need that as well. Yeah. Sorry, on the third page, so they weren't filled out, so you have to get this notarized, the affidavit of mailing, right, and make sure it's filled out properly and complete, as well as the affidavit of posting. So you have to, again, have this notarized.
Okay.
All of this filled out.
These kids don't want to speak to me.
You want to just go up to the mic so we can get it on the record? So I guess this is case 19332. We need notarized affidavit
Power
of
of
posting and notarized
Okay.
affidavit of mailing. And we don't have a notary here, so
Okay.
given that this was adjourned twice already, correct?
There's definitely adjourned at least once.
I believe it was first on for June.
It was first on for June, so I don't know the exact history.
We just want to make sure we get it done. We don't like them to hang around on our calendar.
Yeah, so
Um,
as soon as.
Do you think you can get that for our next meeting?
100%,
Okay.
without a doubt.
That's,
Does he have to send out mailings again? How does
No.
this work from a procedural?
he just has to fill out that and then you have to post that property again 5 days before.
So you'll have to come into our office, pick up another sign to post for the
Okay.
next, whatever meeting we decide to have it on. So
Yeah.
come into our office, get a sign, you'll have to post that 5 days before the hearing, and have that affidavit notarize the date of the hearing, and then bring in a notarized affidavit of mailing. You don't have to send mailings again.
Okay.
So just
That's
get those
great.
documents notarized.
Okay,
Yes.
yes.
And then post the property, and then we
Yeah,
have
we'll
room
come
on
in.
October 21?
Yeah, we could put it on for October.
So just make sure somebody shows up October 21st, because this was marked for our final adjournment tonight.
No,
so-
I'll be here,
Okay.
without a doubt. These
And we,
Michael Colella, Colella.
okay, thank you.
That's it.
Yeah, we'll see you on the 21st.
Okay.
Okay, case 19395, Robert Bacigalupo.
Case 19395, I'll make a motion to approve this application as presented.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Case number 19396, Joseph Persico.
Case 19396, I'll make a motion to approve this application as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries 5-0. Case 19397, June Smith.
Case 19397, I'll make a motion to approve this application as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Case 19398. You want to discuss that one a minute?
Yeah. I think we should move that retaining wall. I guess that's what he's saying, is a retaining wall in the driveway, about 1 foot in.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's, having it right on the property impacts that neighbor. Perhaps we,
Could they put plantings or no?
Could we say that or no?
I don't think they can if we only move it 1 foot.
Yeah.
Matt, what's your input?
Definitely on the guy's yard. I don't think you can fit
So
plantings in a 1 foot.
what do you think?
So it's the paving setback, and it's also the wall setback. You're required to have a 3-foot setback. So,
So maybe if we move it to 2 feet and,
Yeah.
and put plantings at the high end where it sticks out of grade?
do you think is 2 feet enough to put
To
plantings?
put something, so, I mean, the wall's only a foot high. It's
Right.
not, you know, he doesn't have to put arborvitae's, but if he puts some boxwood or something there that might
Right.
soften that for the neighbor.
Okay.
If you think, I mean, if you disagree.
I don't disagree, I'm trying to think of the wording of what plantings to put.
Yeah, because type 2, I mean,
Yeah, you always want to have about like a
so maybe we
6-foot.
word it on a plantings acceptable or as dictated by the planning director.
I mean, you could put planting, like you could make a planter box, bring it back 1 foot, plant them like boxwoods and.
Yeah.
Like box them in. Cement on both sides, I mean, it'll make it look nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, all right, so Adrian, you want to make a motion?
Yeah, case 19398, I make a motion to approve the application as presented with the condition that the retaining wall is moved back 2 feet and plantings are put in and maintained.
So that's a denial on the setback.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
And maybe we tighten up that language on the plantings, because obviously,
Install a row of plantings as directed by the planning director.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be the whole thing, because it's only out of the ground
Right.
towards the top of the driveway. Okay, so we have a motion, we need a second?
Second?
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion is partially approved with conditions, 5-0. Case 19400, Stephen and Nadi Bonacera. No, we're waiting on LWRP or Secra, so.
Both.
No action. Case 19401, we need a seeker on that
Yep.
one.
On case 9401, I'll make a motion to approve the unlisted neg deck.
Second?
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Now on the merits,
On the merits, I approve this, make a motion to approve this application as presented.
Second?
motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries 5-0. Okay, case 19402, Kurt and Eileen Engelhardt.
On case 19402, I'll make a motion to approve the application as presented.
Second?
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Case 19403, Jake DeLeo, no action. Case 19404, John Wire.
On case 19404, I'll make a motion to approve this application as presented.
Second?
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Case 19405, Jaylene Cuevas.
On case 19405, I'll make a motion to approve this application as presented.
Second?
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. All right, case 19378, Matthew and Angeline Perry.
On case 19378, I'll make a motion to approve this application as presented.
Second?
Motion and a second on the merits. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. And case 19332, Jacob and Caroline Colella, we are going to hear that one on the 21st.
Okay.
Now on to the, we have an adjournment. 19375 is adjourned to a date in the future. Now on to the back. Matt, you want to, first one we have is case 19037, Vassar Kaufman of Smithtown. Do you want to give everyone the rundown on the?
Yeah, so, as we know, that's for the Starbucks. They reserved decision pending input from the town's traffic safety department. We received an email from them, and they reviewed the study from Stonefield. And basically, I mean, I could read what they sent or just give you a summary. They're okay with it. Obviously, DOT does have a say, as well as, you know, any realignments. So that was the main thing we were waiting for. was from the Traffic Safety Department.
What was the outcome of the cross-access?
So that will be a condition that we have that, that they do have access with Deer Valley, allowing those residents to come across it and people using Starbucks.
Okay.
So-
That was one of the concerns I had, was, there was different conflicting testimony, whether they did or they didn't want it. Obviously, the town wants it because it makes it easier.
We want it. I don't know if they ever came, if the residents ever fully came to an agreement. I don't know what their HOA said, but it's something that if is to move forward, we would want. So they would probably need it by site plan at least.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Did everyone get a chance to read the recommendations?
Yes.
Anyone have any questions or concerns or comments? No?
You want me to read through them? Or?
Yeah, why don't you read through them? I know everyone's reviewed them.
Okay, and just one other thing, this was heard at the August 12th hearing, so Tanzi, Janadeo, Savaretti, Vigilante, and Gay's not here, so those are the only people that can vote. So Bill, unfortunately, cannot vote.
Okay, so it'll be myself, Adrian, John, and John. So
Yes.
still 4 members, so we can vote.
All right, so the request variance to reduce the distance of a queue lane from a residence district from 50 to 26 feet, approved with conditions. Variance to reduce the minimum required truck loading space from 1 to 0, approved. Variance to reduce the minimum parking setback from the front property line on Alexander Avenue from 25 feet to 18 feet, approved with conditions. Variance to increase the number of ground signs from a max of 1 to 8, approved to 6 with conditions. That's signs 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 only. Variance to increase the number of wall signs from a max of 1 to 6, approved to 4. That's for signs 11, 12, 13, and 14 only. Variance to increase the max height of a wall sign from 15 to 20 feet. That's for sign 9, deny. Variance to increase the max height of a wall sign from 15 feet to 17 feet. That's for sign number 10, deny. Variance to increase the max height of a wall sign from 15 feet to 19 feet for sign number 11, approved to 17. Variance to increase the max height of a wall sign from 15 feet to 18 feet. That's sign 12, approved to 17. Variance to increase the max height of a wall sign from 15 feet to 20 feet for sign number 14, approved to 17. Variance to permit a wall sign not to face a public street, that's signs 9, 10, and 13, approved number 13 only. And the conditions, 1, the site shall be developed in general conformity with the revised plan submitted by Stonefield Engineering, received July 9th, 2025, except as required by the Board of Site Plan Review. 2, the applicant shall file a covenant and restriction in the office of the county clerk agreeing to allow unlimited vehicular cross-access between Alexander Avenue and Deer Valley Drive to homeowners within the Country Point development. 3, the proposed building architecture shall be revised at the discretion of the Board of Site Plan Review. All building elevations facing public streets shall have the appearance of a storefront. 4, a revised landscape plan shall be submitted with the site plan review application that protects existing mature trees in the buffer area as well as within required front yards as recommended by the planning department. The applicant shall be responsible for the property maintenance within the right-of-way of both road frontages. 5, the proposed ground sign shall be relocated to be set back at least 10 feet from the property line and repositioned to the center of the road frontage. 6, the application shall be subject to approval from the New York State Department of Transportation and installing any upgrades to the intersection that they deem necessary. This shall include but not be limited to an additional northbound traffic lane and southbound deceleration lane on Alexander Avenue.
Okay. Everyone okay with that? Yep. All right, we need a motion.
Motion.
And a second.
Second.
A motion from John, second by John.
Yeah.
Actually, we need a secret first.
Yeah,
So we
case
need-
19037. I'll make a motion to approve the secret.
Okay.
Second.
Second?
Bill, you can't vote on this one. So motion by Adrian, second by John Savaredi. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries 4-0. Now on the merits.
On case 19037, I'll make a motion to include all the variances and the conditions,
Okay, as read by,
as read by Matt.
okay.
Second.
Motion by Adrian, second by John Savaredi. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Okay,
Now, what else?
now we're on to, let me grab the back here. 19218 Jesus and Jill Valdez, 5 Bowman Lane.
This is the one where it's a different owner now? Those people no longer
So we're gonna, this one, we were gonna,
We just
we were gonna actually consider
withdraw.
the application withdrawn.
deem withdrawn it.
So
Yeah.
we don't vote on that, do we? We just acknowledge it? Okay.
What do you want me to vote?
So make a motion that
Be withdrawn?
19218 is deemed withdrawn
Okay.
due to inaction.
On case 19218, I'll make a motion that this case has been withdrawn.
Second?
Hold on. We have a sheet here that tells us who can vote on what, right?
I don't know.
218's pretty old, so I'm pretty sure it would have been Bill, right?
I believe, yeah, I believe it's,
This was 11/19/24.
24. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right,
so
yeah.
only
It would be the three of
the
us.
three, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it would be myself. Well, I'll ask Martin this. Because we're deeming it withdrawn, does it have to be members that were present at the hearing?
I think it should be,
Okay,
and I think you still have 3.
okay, all right. So Adrian, motion. Bill, did you make a second?
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Well, in vague. So
All
it's-
right, so motion carries 3-0. All right, and now, case 19367.
This is also the August 12th meeting.
Okay, so this one is, Bill's the only one who can't vote on this one.
Correct.
John was present at that one. So that's 8/12/25?
Mm-hmm.
Hold, please. What's that?
Get the sit back and relax.
You get to sit this one out, Bill. 8/12. Of course, I don't have that notes. You have 8/12, Adrian?
I'm looking for it right now, yeah. We were just waiting for the health department, that's what I had.
Yeah,
Okay.
the secret. I think we have a type 2 on this
Yeah.
one.
All right, so that's type 2. So on the merits,
Okay, on case 19367, I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
so John or John?
Second.
All right, either one. You pick, John Savaredi or John Villianti. Which one of you wants it?
Second.
All right, John Villianti. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Okay, case 19368. I believe we have notes on this one as well.
Yeah, give me a second.
This one is also heard August 12th
Yeah.
of this year. You guys requested a plan that highlighted all the wall heights. We provided that to you. I don't know if
Do you
that,
guys remember this case? This was the one on
Yeah.
Kings
Yeah.
Park Road?
I remember.
Or,
Yeah, Town Line Road, yes.
It was,
we have the file, we're having trouble getting this open now, but I did bring the
it
paper.
was a commercial application with all the retaining walls and right
It
on.
was a
right on-
trucking station. yeah.
Trucking station.
So this was heard on
It was a PAR on this
8/12.
one, too.
Yes, yep. Our recommendations are basically the same.
Okay,
Okay.
so again, this, Bill was not at this one, so it would be the 4 of us again. And there is a recommendation from planning. Do you want to read in what
Yep.
the
Mhm.
recommendations are?
Yeah, so a special exception to permit outdoor storage, approve with conditions. Special exception to permit a trucking station, approve with conditions. Variance of a special exception standard to permit outdoor storage to exceed gross floor area by 67 times, approve with conditions. Variance of a special exception standard to reduce the minimum setback of outdoor storage from 100 feet to 0 feet, and to reduce the densely planted buffer from 100 feet to 50 feet. Approved with conditions. Variance of a special exception standard to increase the height of outdoor storage from 6 feet to 10 feet. Approved with conditions. Variance of a special exception standard to eliminate the required 6-foot-high solid wood fence to enclose outdoor storage area. Approved with conditions. Variance of a special exception standard to permit loading and unloading between the hours of 6 p.m. and 8 a.m. Approved. Variance to increase the maximum height of a fence, wall, or berm from 6 feet to 10 feet. Deny. Variance to reduce the minimum required parking from 56 to 30 spaces. Deny. Variance to reduce the minimum parking setback from front property line from 50 feet to 0 feet. Deny. Variance to reduce the minimum parking setback from rear property line from 6 feet to 0 feet. Deny. Variance to reduce the minimum parking setback from side property line from 6 feet to 0 feet. Deny. Variance to reduce the minimum width of a drive aisle from 24 feet to 22 feet. Deny. Variance to eliminate the required landscape islands in parking rows. Approved. The conditions are: 1, the maximum height of outdoor storage shall not exceed 6 feet, except for vehicles, which shall not exceed 14 feet, and storage containers and shipping containers, which shall not exceed 10 feet. 2, all proposed outdoor storage areas and truck stalls shall be set back a minimum of 100 feet from Town Line Road, and a combination of landscaping and fencing shall be installed as required by the Board of Site Plan Review along the areas of truck parking and outdoor storage so that the uses are not visible from Town Line Road. 3, all fencing and walls shall be limited to 6 feet in height. 4, all parking, drive aisle, and pavement along the side property lines shall meet the minimum 6-foot required setback. The parking setback in the rear yard shall be no less than the proposed 50-foot planted buffer. 5, the proposed 22-foot wide drive aisle running along the north side of the property that connects to the tenant spaces shall meet the minimum width of 24 feet to provide adequate space for two-way traffic to and from the tenant spaces. 6, on-site drainage shall be installed as directed by the engineering department, and all water runoff shall be contained on site. 7, an application to the Board of Site Plan Review shall be required for this application, and all conditions placed on the approval of this application by this board shall be subject to review and approval by the Board of Site Plan Review.
Okay, we need a motion.
Okay. On case 19368, I'll make a motion to approve the variances and the conditions that have been read by Matt from this, as a senior planner.
I believe
You gotta
there's some
do the
denials as
The
well.
secret too, right?
We have secret, oh yeah, we need an unlisted neg deck.
You do. On case 19368, I'll make a motion to approve the unlisted deck.
John, we need a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Secret carries 4-0. Now on the merits.
Didn't I just do that?
It's a
Oh,
partial approval, so we need a motion for a partial approval with conditions.
Okay, on case 19368, I'll make a motion to approve,
Partial approval. you don't have-
partial approval on the variances and partial on denials.
Okay, we have a motion.
And have the conditions read into the record?
Okay, motion by Adrian, second by John, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. All right, case 19371, Kevin and Antoinette Ivins. That was also heard on 8/12.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with that.
We were waiting on secret for that, correct?
Mhm.
Okay, make a motion. That's John and John again. That's the same night, Bill. You can't vote on this one.
Okay. On case 19371, I'll make a motion to approve the application as presented.
Second.
Motion by Adrian, second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. All right.
Oh.
Case 17727, we have a request for a 2.5-year extension.
On case 17727, I'll make a motion to approve the extension.
You can second this one, Bill.
Second? What should it, yeah.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. They're extended until 12/13/2025. All right. Case 19200, Daniel Cox. We have a request to extend to 1/22/26. This is our second request. Motion?
Case 19200, I'll make a motion to extend the extension to 1/22/26.
Second?
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries 5-0. Is that everything we had?
That's it.